Many health tech companies now are starting to offer products and services now that will tell you your biological age. My colleague Jemima McEvoy wrote a deep dive in our weekend magazine about that trend and about some of the complexities that come up with companies offering these new features. I want to bring her on to talk all about it. Jemima, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here.
Hi, Akash. It's great to be here.
I should preface this by saying we've talked a lot about health tech on the show so far today. We've talked about GLP-1s, we've talked about peptides, we almost talked about microdosing. We didn't quite get there. And so biological age is right on the money for the realm of things that I want to get to. Did you track your biological age as part of this story that you wrote?
I really wanted to, but because of the timeline with the story, we were worried that the results wouldn't come back in time. So,
Okay.
yeah, because this is different than like, looking at your
This,
watch.
this is not like telling me like, oh, my Whoop tells me I'm, younger.
No, no, no. So that's different. There's like lots of different types of biological age tests, and those are more just like measures. They're a little more casual. The ones that I'm talking about in these stories are the kits that you order to your house. You take like a cheek swab or like a blood sample,
Hmm.
send it off to a lab, and then a few weeks later, they'll send you back your score based on like a variety of different measurements. Interestingly, though, like one founder that I spoke to who runs one of the companies that sells biological age tests, he told me that he thinks that the best way to measure biological age might be by just looking at your face and guessing your age based on
Shocker.
you look.
Waking up in the
And
morning, look into the mirror.
yes, and he said that my age was what it actually was. He just guessed it. So anyway, I don't know
I
what that says about my
is that
physiology.
is it do we do that? We just look people and guess their age? I mean, is that something we do?
In this world, yes.
I guess so. Okay. Well, look, I liked your story a lot because it dived into the way that Silicon Valley has embraced it, not just from an adoption perspective, but also from a business perspective. Talk a little bit about who the big companies are, how much money is going into this space, and then really what some of the complexities are around being able to say that you are 30 years old, but you're actually 25 or you're actually 35.
Yeah, so by my count, there's 15 different companies that are selling biological age tests. They're all I mean, a lot of them are different versions, which I'll get into in a second, but, um, also by my count, these companies have raised around $800 million. It's worth noting, though, that a lot of these companies do sell other stuff like supplements, longevity-related things, like other health testing kits that aren't focused on biological age, but they offer these tests too. And so the complexities is that well, there's one big one, which is that I spoke to a bunch of scientists in the space, and they all agree, including some of the scientists who developed the technology that are used in some of these commercially available clocks. And they all agree that you can't definitively say that we can measure biological age because there's no definition. It's not like height or weight, where we all agree, like you measure height and weight in a specific way. Biological age, there's no consensus. So it's confusing to consumers. You're going to get different scores depending on the test that you choose to do because a lot of them are measuring different things.
Right. Now, what do the companies say about this? What's their rebuttal?
Yeah, a lot of them argue that it's useful to track over the long term, so tracking trends. When I broke
Relatively speaking, I mean, even if you're not the same as what the other company says, if you're getting younger, it's better.
Exactly. So, like, test yourself every 6 months, watch how that changes. You know, the problem is in a lot of these companies' marketing, it's a lot more definitive. Like, we're gonna tell you your biological age. This is how healthy you are. In some cases, arguing this is, like, the best way to look at how your body is doing internally. So there's kind of this difference between how these companies are marketing what they can do versus what they can actually do. Also, the experts I spoke with were divided on whether there's actually any value on tracking over time either. If the tests aren't particularly accurate in the first place, why would it be valuable to check over time also? Um, and then just one more point I want to mention is that I'm not trying to say that biological clocks are completely useless. They've been used in aging studies and continue to be used in research a lot. The problem is that they have been started to be sold commercially without really checking how useful they are on an individual level and how accurate they are on an individual level. So there's kind of this difference between being able to measure like changes in populations versus testing how effective they are for individuals.
Was there a particular story that you heard over the course of your reporting that really just shocked you about the lengths that people will go to? Maybe not just to measure their biological age, but look, we've been talking all day today about the crazy things people are trying to get information about their bodies and about how they can improve. I mean, is there a story that stands out to you that you were just flabbergasted about?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that this is a small subset of people that are really on the extreme end of this, but among those people, there are a lot of great stories. I mean, one founder I was speaking with, he told me, and this is in my story, but one of his friends texted him after getting her results back from a biological age test she did, and she showed up as being 10 years older than she is in reality. And she was just begging him over text, like, "What can I do to change this? I'll pay you $10,000." That may have been an exaggeration and perhaps
$1,000 for every year. I mean, that's the going rate, I guess.
reasonable. Seems reasonable, but I mean, there are a lot of people in Silicon Valley who really care and are hoping that we can reverse aging and think it's on the horizon. So, I don't think this is going to go away.
And last question for you. Do you think, well, actually, you just answered. I was going to say, is it a fad? Is it going to go away? So you think this is here to stay?
Yeah, this is definitely here to stay. And, the scientists in the space keep saying that there are, big breakthroughs coming, and there's a lot of hope that there's going to be breakthroughs in the industry, and investors just seem to be willing to throw a lot of money at it, even though, we haven't seen any massive, massive breakthroughs yet. Um, so yeah, I don't think it's going to go away. Interest is going to stay.
Great. Well, Jemima, I want to thank you for coming on. That is Jemima McEvoy, our weekend reporter here at The Information.